Barbara Walters, Diane Sawyer, Sam Donaldson, Connie Chung, Charles Gibson, and Hugh Downs. Tonight, an eye-opening 2020 investigation. You are looking at the face of a madman.
My name is Rusty Weston.
Listen to the chilling words about his two victims, police officers on Capitol Hill.
They are not permanently dead. They will only perceive it as being dead just for a few seconds.
And in this startling videotape, hear what this killer told the CIA more than 2 years before he opened fire in the halls of Congress.
They give you the drink, or they can send you all the way from suicide to killing people.
How could the CIA let this man saying these things walk out the door?
This was not a man who snapped on the spur of the moment.
Tom Gerald tracks the gunman's twisted path to Capitol Hill. And tragedy, a fatal vision. And you're about to meet the man some call the best boss in America. Does your boss hand out ice cream and refuse executive perks unless you get them too?
We all fly coach. If you want to pay for an upgrade yourself, that's your own decision.
Is their company playing?
Absolutely not.
And not only that, he's made thousands of his employees rich.
Life isn't very complex. You treat people like you like to be treated yourself.
Well, I want to share with you.
He's an internet cheerleader who's changed millions of lives. And wait until you hear how he wants to change yours.
We're in the middle of a revolution.
Diane Sawyer and the story of one nice guy who's been finishing first. Number one boss. Plus, Hurricane Floyd, tonight, poised to strike. For millions along the Atlantic coast, it was a day of waiting.
This place probably won't be here in the next couple of days.
And worrying.
We're just moving completely out.
From the ghost towns along the coast to the eye of the storm, we'll have the latest on Floyd's Fury. Those stories tonight.
On September 24th...
What kind of doctor are you?
PhD, psychologist.
Not a real doctor.
That's right, the fake kind.
Don't miss Mumford, the best-reviewed comedy of the fall.
Feel free to lie down.
I'll fall right to sleep. I think it's too soon for me to be sleeping with you.
Heartwarming, funny, and touching.
What do you think's wrong with her? She's gone weird is what's wrong with her.
It's hilarious. A wonderful film.
You've fallen in love with one of your patients? Doc, it's not me, is it?
Mumford, rated R. Sneaks Saturday in select cities.
If you were a new luxury car, how would you stand apart from the rest? Would you have the most powerful V6 in your class? Or the largest interior? Maybe you'd offer amenities you couldn't find anywhere else. Imagine how special you'd be if you could claim all of them. Presenting the all-new Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
There's a boy outside. His name is Jim. He wants to know if I can play with him. Dance with him. Marry him. Can I?
Daddy?
Can I?
Visa Platinum. Exceptional credit limit. Visa acceptance for purchase power.
Daddy?
You can really use.
From ABC News in New York, Diane Sawyer and Sam Donaldson.
Good evening and welcome to 2020 Wednesday. Its name is Floyd, and in the words of North Carolina Governor Jim Hunt, this looks real mean. The hurricane is barreling up the Atlantic tonight. Millions of coastal residents are fleeing inland, trying to stay one step ahead of Floyd's fierce path.
Diane, tonight the hurricane is headed toward the Carolinas and is expected to come ashore early tomorrow somewhere along the border between North and South Carolina. It's been downgraded somewhat, but the danger is not over yet. You can see the effects of the approaching fury tonight. Heavy rain, dangerous high surf, and wind gusts, and a dark sense of foreboding among those who've decided to stay. ABC's Bob Jameson is with us live in Wilmington, North Carolina. Bob, what's it like there?
Sam, the center of the storm is still 100 miles away from here, and the first hurricane-force winds aren't expected for 3 to 4 hours. But already there's been about a dozen inches of rain, and 10 to 12 inches more are expected. The real concern is flooding, particularly with a tidal surge expected of 10 to 13 feet. But there may be some good news. The full force of Floyd was expected to last here for 10 to 12 hours. But now, Sam, the expectation is that the hurricane will linger over this area for just 3 to 4 hours.
Thanks very much, Bob. ABC's Aaron Brown joins us now live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Aaron, the storm is right offshore from you, isn't it?
It is indeed, and in the last half hour, the rain has picked up quite a lot. The winds have started to grow. It's gotten very, very noisy from that combination of rain and wind, as you know. We are at what we believe is the beginning of the worst. We have several more hours, a very long and nasty night ahead. But as you indicated at the beginning, probably not as nasty as we thought when we arrived in South Carolina on Monday and when we left Charleston this morning about 9 o'clock.
Well, good luck to you and all the people on the Carolina coast, Aaron. Before the storm is over, it will have touched communities from Florida all the way up to the New England states. Deborah Roberts reports on the already considerable damage.
All day long, rain and wind has been pelting the Atlantic coast. This pier in Daytona Beach was one casualty to the seemingly misplaced roars of onlookers. Meantime, the Carolinas braced for an apparent direct hit.
I have never seen the waves so huge. This place probably won't be here in the next couple of days.
Whatever happens overnight will not be seen by many people. From the Georgia border on up through North Carolina's Outer Banks, most coastal areas are all but evacuated. This couple is so anxious, they're not just leaving, they're moving out for good.
With Hurricane Fran, we got 3 feet of water in the house and we lost a lot of belongings. So this one's a lot bigger, a lot scarier. We're just moving completely out.
They have good reason to flee. If you have any doubt what hurricane wind is like, take a look at this. This is a demonstration of what it's like for a human being to try standing up to only the most modest hurricane winds. The wind in this controlled situation is blowing 75 miles per hour. By comparison, Floyd is still packing winds of well over 100 miles an hour. And at speeds like that, as this experiment shows, a normal 2x4 piece of wood becomes a torpedo, capable of piercing a building and causing horrendous damage. Facing that kind of threat, this family cut down the trees in front of their Florida home rather than risk having them tear down the whole house in a hurricane.
We wanted to have our wedding under those 2 trees.
You're going to have the wedding under the tree?
Yeah.
Oh.
The family recorded its evacuation on home video.
This is the lines at the gas station.
Trying to buy gas at night.
Okay, we're headed out.
To trying to leave town in the morning. And the endless traffic jams that followed.
4 hours into this, we've only gone, I think, about 30 miles.
In the end, Floridians were relatively lucky. Floyd spared them a direct hit veering north.
Where you go to sleep tonight and what you do tomorrow is going to have a tremendous impact on how many fatalities we have.
For those in the Carolinas, the worst should be over by morning. Only then will they be able to breathe easy again.
Deborah Roberts. Meanwhile, because of both voluntary and mandatory evacuations, an almost eerie quiet has descended on dozens of towns and cities along the Atlantic coast. Sylvia Chase spent the day in one of them.
Savannah, known for gracious hospitality and a quietly eccentric charm irresistible to visitors, turned almost ghostly when one of the worst hurricanes of the century seemed about to deliver the city a direct hit. The order to evacuate was mandatory.
Best guesstimates right now, 65% of the city's gone.
And it was no fun getting there, as more than 100,000 South Georgians joined an unprecedented 1 million or more coastal residents from the Carolinas south to Florida, surging inland for 2- and 3-hour journeys that stretched to 10 and 12. Then even this morning when Floyd appeared headed further north, Savannah police kept a total force of 500 on 12-hour shifts.
Floyd's playing his hand very close to himself. He's keeping his cards real close. And he's wobbling a little bit coming up the coastline.
And it wouldn't take but one of those wobbles in the wrong direction with a storm the size of Florida to do major damage in Savannah.
Today, Savannah's glorious shores were as desolate as the city.
These barrier islands of Georgia are inhabited by thousands of people. And they're the kinds of places emergency officials had in mind when they made the evacuation mandatory. They're totally surrounded by water. And only yesterday, it was predicted that Hurricane Floyd would be accompanied by a 12 to 15-foot storm surge, which would have put these islands totally underwater.
It seems like this storm has really gotten a lot of people's attention.
Detective Mike Wilkins patrolled the normally bustling historic district this morning.
You don't have to worry too much about traffic this morning, do you?
Not at all.
I have never. Have you ever seen it like this in Savannah?
I've never seen it like this. It was kind of an eerie feeling yesterday standing on Abercorn Street. You know, after most everybody had evacuated, there was just nobody out there.
But around the corner, cozily settled in for the storm's duration, was Ms. Dorothy Kingery, amidst priceless antiques, snug within the 15-inch brick walls of Mercer House. Her place has been battered by the Civil War, ravaged by urban decay, and rose again in restoration, as readers of the longtime bestseller Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil know. But when Ms. Kingery declared her house a match for Floyd, well...
Both my daughters were very concerned.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, so here are your daughters saying, Mom...
Yes, they were.
We're looking at TV, and it says 140-mile-an-hour winds.
That's right.
It says 10, 12, 15-foot storm surge. It says lights going out.
Well, I said I'm busy right now. I'm trying to secure things here. You know, I'm checking the shutters, and I'm taking things off tabletops.
And the Savannah police were busy trying to secure Ms. Kingery.
You got flashlights and cameras?
Yeah, I have flashlights.
2 officers on the beat, worried about this famous resident spending a stormy night in the empty city.
Did I hear you offer to come and spend the night here?
Wait a minute. We can't. I live in Midway. I can't get home. We got the road blocked, so we're having to bunk down at the Hyatt, and we're sleeping on floors.
And then proving that Southern hospitality is a kind of eternal flame that is not extinguished by a hurricane or an evacuation order.
I have a carriage house that has 2 nice bedrooms.
Wow.
And I'm serious.
The officers didn't say either yes or no, but it was clear they'd be checking in from time to time. The night came on, and the storm drew closer.
Sylvia Chase. Tonight, as we said, the storm is drawing closer to the Carolinas. And to see what's in store, we'll turn to ABC News hurricane consultant, former director of the National Hurricane Center, Bob Sheets. Bob, what can we expect overnight?
Well, Sam, the center of the hurricane will shortly be moving ashore in between Morehead City and Wilmington, North Carolina. It'll be moving toward the north-northeast, winds at about 100 to 115 miles per hour at landfall. Weaken as it moves across the extreme part of eastern North Carolina, and then come out probably as a tropical storm somewhere near the Norfolk area.
Bob, do you know how far up the coast we'll feel the effects of this storm?
Primarily along the immediate coastal area, you'll get some tropical storm conditions that could go up as far as Long Island Sound.
Thanks very much, Bob. Okay. We have another story to tell you about tonight, another of those terrible mass shootings that seem to be plaguing this country. This one happened in Fort Worth, Texas, about 7 o'clock local time. According to eyewitnesses, a gunman walked into a church filled with teenagers and began shooting.
It's tragic. This is probably the worst I've ever heard of in Fort Worth. There are several people that have been killed. At this point, it looks like 6 that we know of, and then the shooter looks like he committed suicide, self-inflicted gunshot wound. Plus, we have 8 that were transported to hospital, area hospitals, and I really don't know their conditions, but it's a tragic scene, and something it's very hard to fathom why someone would do this.
According to eyewitnesses, the gunman walked in, was very calm, he was dressed in black. He said something to the effect, "Please be calm," and he began shooting at random.
Kenzie got shot. Where? I don't know.
We thought it was a joke. We ran out. Some of us ran off the stage. We were hiding behind our amps and some kids.
Why the gunman did this, of course, is unknown at this point. Again, the Wedgwood Baptist Church was the scene of the shooting in Fort Worth, Texas. ABC News will bring you the latest on this story and the hurricane on Nightline tonight and tomorrow on Good Morning America. And for continuous coverage, log on to our website, abcnews.com. We'll be right back.
A long history of run-ins with the law, paranoid delusions he reported to authorities, Why was this man free to open fire in the halls of Congress? Tom Jarrell's shocking investigation when 2020 continues.
What if Dr. Frankenstein's experiment had worked? And instead of being ugly and ruthless, the monster was handsome and charming. Would the villagers still have hunted him down? Or would they have invited him in and introduced him to their daughters? Introducing the all-new 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse, nicely equipped at 17.7. It's alive.
Tylenol House Call. Information for healthy living.
Watching Wayne Gretzky, you'd never know the great one could have common arthritis.
When my doctor told me that my aches and pains could be the early signs of arthritis, I was really surprised.
It's not unusual. Millions of Americans under 50 have arthritis. Millions more are at risk. What should you look for? Risk factors include an active occupation, past injury, family history, age, and weight. Early signs of common arthritis include joint pain and stiffness. Well, what do you do for your arthritis pain?
I take Tylenol.
The first choice of doctors for arthritis pain is the medicine and Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. Tylenol works as well as the leading arthritis prescription, but it's much gentler on your stomach. So, Wayne, how does it feel to be retired?
Pretty good. These days, it's fun to be knocked around.
Could your pain and stiffness be the early signs of common arthritis? Talk to your doctor, like Wayne Gretzky did.
Tylenol House Call is brought to you by Tylenol Arthritis.
My mama told me you better shop around.
You don't have to be made of money to afford the best for everyone in your family and for your home. The very latest styles and colors, the very best quality, and huge selections of everything you want. It's easy. Just move to the store where you always see more and save more on the best. Today's Burlington Coat Factory. We're more than great coats.
My mama told me you better shop around.
28 different children from 28 different families with 28 different futures whose parents all share the need for help making informed decisions on what matters most: their health, their finances, their future. One name, Aetna, for what matters most.
Wake up at the crossroads of America.
Come on over to Good Morning America at Times Square.
ABC Premiere Week Wednesday is almost here. On Two Guys and a Girl, you'll finally get the answer to the big question.
Will you marry me?
Well, you gotta wait for the premiere. Norm's hot for Faith Ford, who's hot for this guy.
He has a really big heart.
Well, you know what they say, you only get one really big organ. So.
It's your first look at Mimi and Mini Mimi.
Well, there goes the theory that you were cute when you were small.
The season premiere of True, and it's the new Faces of a comedy destined to be one of the season's best. Oh, Grow Up premieres on the new ABC Wednesday in 1 week.
Tonight, because of an extraordinary videotape, you're about to look into the mind of a man who was on the road to violence. You saw the headlines last summer. A gunman in the halls of Congress, 2 police officers dead in a senseless shooting. But was there a story behind this headline? Was there something about the shooter that could have predicted what he might do? Tom Jarrell has been looking into the background of the Capitol Hill gunman, and you'll be surprised by what he found.
It was mayhem at the Capitol. A hot, lazy summer afternoon interrupted by gunfire and bloodshed.
And I saw someone shooting. I just saw him shoot the cop.
In moments, a lone gunman with cold-blooded precision shot and killed 2 veteran Capitol police officers. Why, for no apparent reason, would a 41-year-old drifter arrested at the scene storm the Capitol and start shooting? At the time, it seemed like a random act, but our investigation shows that this carnage was preceded by years of warning signs and might well have been prevented by authorities who for years failed to treat this psychotic man who would become a killer. Russell Weston Jr.
They are not permanently dead. They will only perceive it as being dead just for a few seconds.
This videotape obtained by ABC News highlights Weston's insanity.
I've been murdered a few times. I've been murdered and cannibalized a few times.
In these bizarre statements made to a court-appointed psychiatrist 6 months after the shootings, he admits he killed the 2 police officers. But in his mind, ravaged by schizophrenia, it's entirely up to him whether they remain dead.
Well, that's like
Could you just make them come alive by your choice?
Yes, I can do that, yes.
But you wouldn't?
I usually do not know. I usually make up the rule that once they're dead, they stay dead.
Weston's schizophrenia is so severe, the federal district court ruled he cannot yet face trial for the officers' deaths.
And what would you say is the primary significance of your trial?
To expose the conspiracy of murder and cannibalism.
Weston became haunted by macabre fantasies that cannibals and communists were taking over the country. He believed in order to stop them from annihilating the human race, he needed to get control of a time machine locked away in an imaginary great safe of the Capitol.
The Ruby satellite system is a time-forward, time-reverse system, and it works on a very large computer system.
And that's in the great safe of the Capitol?
Yes, it is.
All right. And that's the very location that you were headed toward at the time of the shooting?
Yes.
Many people who met Weston over the years could tell he was mentally ill. But could anyone have foreseen he had turned violent? 2020 has uncovered a paper trail that spans some 20 years and tens of thousands of miles. The path leads to law enforcement and to mental health authorities who knew of Weston's violent and paranoid delusions, but did little or nothing to either help him or protect the public. In fact, 2 years before the Capitol shootings, Weston, desperate for help, actually drove all the way to CIA headquarters outside Washington.
How you doing, sir? Oh, pretty good.
He was invited in and interviewed by a CIA agent for an hour and a half. The CIA recorded the meeting. ABC News obtained the videotape. Weston is on the left.
My name is Rusty Weston.
With a chilling calm and attention to detail, he laid out his outrageous fears of government plots.
The shooting at the United States Capitol.
Mostly fixating on President Clinton and a feud he believes they've been having for some 36 years.
Every time that I start to have a fight with Bill, he gets mad and he starts doing a lot of damage. He is going to detonate an atomic bomb above Helena, Montana.
Weston believes his efforts to thwart Clinton's evil plans have made him a target for retaliation from the president.
And, of course, I'm running all over the hills trying to make sure Bill does not detonate. And in the process, Bill Clinton gets mad at me. Pretty doggone mad at me. I end up in the hospital from phosgene poisoning, and they murdered my imbecile.
The thing that is most striking about his CIA interview is how sick he is.
Psychiatrist E. Fulatori, an expert on schizophrenia, says over 1,000 murders a year are committed by untreated mentally ill people.
50,000 cannibals.
He's closely followed Weston's case, reviewing videotapes, transcripts, and records released by the court.
This was not a man who snapped on the spur of the moment. There were red lights that were blinking very, very brightly, saying this guy is potentially dangerous, and nobody acted on those kinds of warnings.
Did Russell Weston simply fall through the cracks?
He fell through cracks that are large enough for an elephant to fall through.
The cracks began to open after Weston graduated from high school, when he first showed signs of mental illness. In his early 20s, Weston moved to this backwoods cabin in Montana, where he frequently clashed with neighbors and even local law enforcement. Tell me what his demeanor was.
I think it was anger, a lot on his part.
Tim Campbell is the deputy sheriff of Montana's Jefferson County. He says that even though Weston repeatedly threatened him, he never arrested Weston or referred him for psychiatric evaluation.
Establishment owners would call the police, and as soon as the police walked in, they said, oh, it's Weston.
Like so many lawmen Weston would confront over the years, Campbell says he didn't worry about the consequences when he heard Weston was leaving town.
I thought, good. Now he can be somebody else's problem.
For the next 15 years, he would be somebody else's problem. Despite repeated outbursts, he was consistently dismissed by law enforcement as a nuisance and sent away from clinics without ever being adequately treated.
There is no sense at all that anyone in a professional capacity said, this guy is very sick. We need to hang on to him. Everyone just passed him on as quickly as they could.
For example, more than 2 years before the Capitol shootings, while visiting his parents in Illinois, Weston told a deputy sheriff he was prepared to kill the president because, he says, Clinton had sent a sharpshooter named Joe to murder him. Here's how Weston describes the incident to the CIA agent.
Joe shows up with a high-powered rifle trying to get a good shot at me. And I report it to the sheriff's department. But the sheriff's department calls the Secret Service and accuses me of threatening the president.
According to records, the sheriff's office did notify the Secret Service and sent Weston to this local clinic for psychiatric evaluation. But he was quickly released.
Then I decide, well, since there's so much trouble, I'm going to move back to Montana. Who's trouble? Well, because of the Secret Service trouble.
But Weston couldn't leave his troubles behind. Untreated and unwell, he left his family and Illinois again and went back to Montana, this time to a different county where he wasn't known. Weston's continued outburst to authorities about the president got so bad, a Secret Service agent journeyed miles to visit his remote cabin.
Of course, Bill has my telephone bugged. And the Secret Service hears that I'm trying to get a hold of the FBI. As soon as I hang up from the FBI, the Secret Service calls me, saying, Russ, we're going to be out. Okay, come on out.
The agent noted Weston was very delusional and that Weston believed the president was trying to poison him, but concluded Weston was not a threat. And once again, the man who would become a killer was dismissed as harmless.
When we come back, Weston's frightening words to the CIA on that videotape interview recorded more than 2 years before his deadly shooting spree.
The CIA listens to the paranoid ramblings of a deranged man and then, incredibly, allows him to go.
Appreciate you coming in.
Could tragedy have been prevented? Tom Jarrell continues this 2020 investigation in a moment.
Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Don't worry about the future. Sing. Finally, a minivan to live by. Introducing the all-new Mazda MPV.
I was born hungry, but I was born Italian, so that never happened again. Tonight, we had the perfect meal for us. The Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl. You pick any of their special pastas, and you get all the free refills you want. Ooh, spaghetti with meat sauce, fettuccine Alfredo, you name it. The bowls keep coming until you say, when? And the same for salad and breadsticks, all for $6.95.
I'm gonna eat it all.
That's Cousin Al. Nobody's ever heard this guy say when.
I love this place.
Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
The Prince of Egypt is now on video. And this week,
We will show Pharaoh your new baby brother, Moses.
you can own one of the most critically acclaimed films of the year. The Academy Award winner for Best Original Song. Critics call it an unequivocal masterpiece. The animation is like nothing else seen before, raves Gene Shalit. And USA Today hails it a crowning achievement. The Prince of Egypt. Own it today.
My dad taught me what it means to be a true fan. Right, Dad? Yeah! I'm more the quiet type. Oh, yeah! Well, the cold doesn't bother me so much. It's the chili dogs. Oh, that's why I bring out the Rolaids.
New smoother tasting Rolaids starts to neutralize acid in less than 10 seconds, getting you back on your game fast.
It's just like Grandpa always says. You gotta be your best out here.
Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief.
Mom doesn't make it out to the games. I don't know why.
On ABC Premiere Week Tuesday, the season premiere of Spin City.
I am so sorry I'm late.
Mike meets his match when Heather Locklear arrives.
This is not some cheesy soap opera.
Ooh, that hurt.
We have a score to settle.
Plus a really angry Yankee All-Star Roger Clemens. Then the return of the mid-season smash.
Finally.
It's like, you know. And on the season premiere of Dharma and Greg, Greg is gone. And he's been replaced by, this guy.
Hey, look at me. I'm an attorney. I'm an
not for long.
See you next Tuesday, starting at 8, 7 Central on ABC Premiere Tuesday.
I would love to have,
Dinner? Are you going to go out with Grace's mom?
Please don't have sex with them tonight, okay?
They just asked me if you were older than 25 or not.
ABC's Once and Again, premiering Tuesday at 10, 9 Central.
So is that how old most of your dates are?
Face to face with the CIA, a madman talks of killing.
In other words, they can send you all the way from suicide to killing people.
Could he have been stopped before he took 2 lives? And later, he's called the best boss in America. So what's he doing that your boss is not? Just wait till we show you when 2020 continues after this from our ABC stations.
A prayer service at a Texas church turns to horror after a gunman walks in and kills 7 people. Heavy rain, strong winds, and pounding surf continue along the Carolinas as Hurricane Floyd draws near. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Bermudez. Also at 11 o'clock, Portlanders sound off about off-leash parks for their pets.
There's never been a better time to buy glasses because this week only at Binions, you can get 50% off a complete pair of glasses. That's frames and lenses half price. So hurry in to Binions.
Nearly 60 years ago, Weyerhaeuser started North America's first tree farm. 30 years ago, we developed high-yield forestry to help grow more on the land. Now our 100th birthday is almost here, and we're finding new ways to provide forest products and protect forest habitats. So when people ask how old we are, we can say 100, and we're still growing. Weyerhaeuser. The future is growing.
What are you doing? We bank at Washington Mutual now. They won't charge you for talking to the teller. Exactly. Free checking that's really free. No monthly fees. Nothing. Not even a per check charge. Are you ready?
Let Washington Mutual make a fan out of you. Washington Mutual. Join the club.
Gas prices are headed 5 cents higher. Should Oregonians vote on the new gas tax? Do our roads need the tax money for repairs? Sunday at 6 on Town Hall.
Cook for a day, eat for a month. Tomorrow at 9 on AM Northwest.
Russell Weston, the gunman who killed 2 Capitol Hill police officers in a shooting spree last summer, was known to the Secret Service because of his previous verbal outbursts against President Clinton. Yet time after time, this disturbed man seems simply to fall through the cracks. And as Tom Gerald continues his report, what is even more shocking is the outcome of the videotaped interview Weston had with the CIA more than 2 years before his deadly rampage. Watch what happened.
By you knowing this story, most likely you will end up dying for it.
In Russell Weston's deranged mind, the government was brainwashing him through television signals.
When they beam this programming to you through the satellite, as soon as you fall asleep, boom, they give you the dream. In other words, they can send you all the way from suicide to killing people.
Remarkably, after hearing that and Weston's other paranoid delusions,
Well, if you need to, you can write.
the CIA didn't detain him. No one referred him for psychiatric treatment. He was just sent on his way.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. Okay.
So Russell Weston, still sick, still delusional, returned to Montana and went to this clinic to attack a lab technician.
When you threaten to kill people in hospitals, it tends to get their attention.
And it did. Finally, in October 1996, Weston was committed to the State Mental Hospital in Warm Springs, Montana for 90 days. In their records, admission staff noted, reminds people of the Unabomber, though he's better groomed. Soon after he arrived, he became violent with hospital staff.
He insisted that he had to use the phone to call the FBI.
A.J. Kramer is Weston's court-appointed lawyer.
And tried to force his way into a staff area. And in the course of that, he punched, hit, pushed the nurse.
Records indicate Weston improved somewhat at the hospital.
The The medication calmed him down, and he stopped talking about the delusions nearly as much. So they considered that progress.
But his progress was halted because, despite his history of violence and notes in his records that he still suffered from distorted beliefs, despite all these warning signs, for reasons officials won't explain, the hospital let Weston go early, a little more than halfway through his commitment.
This is state-owned.
Ed Amberg, a Montana State Hospital administrator, explained the hospital's policies, but declined to discuss the specifics of Weston's case.
But you want to move your patients through it as expeditiously and as economically as you possibly can.
We try to discharge them at the optimum point in time because we know that prolonged stays in facilities like ours, when it's not necessary, can lead to greater disability.
It's called rationalizing how you can get rid of the patients that you don't want to take care of. And a difficult patient like Mr. Weston, you get rid of any way you can.
So what did they do? The hospital could have required that Weston remain in the state and continue taking antipsychotic medication or risk recommitment. But they didn't. Instead, they let him leave Montana and go to his parents' home in Illinois with a recommendation that he get treatment there, 1,600 miles away.
There were no legal conditions at all to his release. You're just released.
And that means he was no longer the state of Montana's responsibility or problem.
If a medically qualified expert looked at the case of Russell Weston and said, that's the case where the state of Montana moved a patient out because it was expedient to get him out of their jurisdiction, you would say?
Russell Weston, like the rest of our patients, has a right to confidentiality.
Take it as a generic case. If a patient leaves here and goes to another state, that sounds like that patient could fall through the cracks. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement.
So once again, a psychotic Weston was free. 11 days after his release, Weston did visit a clinic in Illinois. There, staff noted that even on medication, Weston was very bizarre, paranoid throughout the entire session. Did they confine him for further evaluation? No. A social worker explained he wasn't legally required to even be there.
As soon as he found out it was voluntary, he stopped taking the medication and he stopped going to the clinic.
That was the last time Weston was seen by a psychiatrist before the Capitol shootings. In the following 18 months, Weston dropped out of the mental health system completely. No one knew or seemed to care where he had gone. So Weston, trapped by his delusions, too terrified to sleep, meticulously outlined his fears in letters to government agencies. Those letters, he says, went ignored. So to get attention, he opened fire at the Capitol.
See, as before, I would write them letters, and they would refuse to acknowledge those letters. So now I'm putting it to them in a way that they can't ignore it.
Weston planned his attack methodically. Around midnight on July 24th, 1998, he left his parents' home in Illinois, carrying a .38 caliber gun he had stolen from his father, and drove through the night and next morning to reach the Capitol. At 3:40 in the afternoon, Weston stormed through the east door where Officer Jacob Chestnut was manning the security checkpoint. Witnesses say Weston walked up behind the officer and executed him, shooting him point blank in the back of the head. Shots echoed as Weston continued firing through the cool marble halls, wounding 2 more people before confronting Officer John Gibson, who, pinned in the corner, returned fire, wounding Weston. Weston shot the officer squarely in the chest, killing him. Moments later, Weston was captured. Weston, now in the psychiatric ward of a federal prison, is still not taking medication. His lawyer argues that forcing Weston to do so would violate his client's civil rights. Though he won't discuss strategy, he says if Weston is not medicated, he'll remain incompetent to stand trial indefinitely. So Weston remains convinced the officers can be revived. But such delusions do not exist for the officers' widows and children, whose grief-stricken reality is permanent. Still, Russell Weston continues to obsess about the time machine that led him to that violent day at the Capitol. This time, he believes, he needs it to save himself.
Yes. Is one possibility the death penalty be imposed on you?
Yes.
All right. What will happen if the death penalty is imposed on you?
that means I will get control of the Ruby satellite system. And then after that, whenever I die, I only die for maybe 3 or 4 seconds, maybe not even that long.
Just a few days ago, a federal judge ruled that Russell Weston can be forced to take medication to control his schizophrenia. Weston's lawyers are appealing. We'll be right back.
The most powerful V6 engine in its class. The most interior space in its class. Amenities that would surprise you in any class. For those seeking refuge from mediocrity and compromise, we offer the Sanctuary. Presenting the all-new Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
Introducing Blue from American Express, a whole new kind of credit card.
Smart. It's the magic word during Kenmore Days. Our exclusive Kenmore appliance event, and quite a clever time to buy. Ad-free delivery or 0% finance charge on all Kenmore appliances over $3.99, and poof, you could buy that shiny new dishwasher. Kenmore Days. Your new kitchen is now on sale, only at Sears. Smart, stylish, simple. In a word, Kenmore, America's best-selling appliance brand.
Flight 437 went down about an hour ago.
I'm Peyton's assistant. I need to find out what plane she was on. If Peyton's traveling, I don't think it's for the store. You saying she lied to me?
You got a guy thinks his wife was traveling with another man.
Mr. and Mrs. Cullen Chandler, you ready for this? Mrs. Chandler is a congresswoman.
A detective came asking about Cullen.
Are you investigating something?
They were sitting together. Your husband. My wife. Did you know that?
Random Hearts, rated R, opens October 8th. 2020, now in its 20th anniversary year, winner of over 300 prestigious awards for excellence in broadcast journalism. America's got the most stuff, but do we have the right stuff? Find out with John Stossel as he travels around the world to discover, is America number one? Sunday.
You're going down for murder now. You get that? I didn't kill her. You get that?
Before you get to these lawyers in this Emmy Award-winning drama, some private eyes will get to you.
We're not the police. We have more in common with the criminals. We just have better intentions.
David E. Kelley's Snoops, followed by The Practice. Premieres ABC Sunday, September 26th.
The Subaru, mate. Nah, the Outback. Outback wagon.
Every Subaru we make comes with full-time all-wheel drive, transferring power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip, so you can safely go.
The red one. The red one.
Just about anywhere. Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
I guess I should have given him this.
Dear Albertsons, what's all the excitement about in your stores these days?
Right now, during our buy one, get one free sale, when you buy any of the great items on sale at our great everyday low price, you'll get another one absolutely free. So hurry in and join the excitement during our incredible buy one, get one free sale. Free, as in no charge, zip, zilch, nada, zero. In other words, free. Albertsons, whew, it's your store.
2020 continues. Once again, Diane Sawyer.
Let me ask you some questions. Does the head of your company hand out ice cream to the workers? Refuse fancy perks if you can't have them too? And is he or she making everyone, including secretaries and janitors, rich? Well, if your boss isn't, tonight you may want to meet 49-year-old John Chambers, CEO of Cisco Systems, the fifth most valuable company in America, worth $175 billion. As you're about to see, Chambers' goal is to change daily life on this planet. and to lead a company that functions like an Olympic team. No wonder he's called the high priest of good management, or by some, simply the best boss in the country.
Microphone to John Chambers, who's going to
Here is Team Cisco, John Chambers' players, the people who tighten screws, pack boxes, and make out shipping labels. He's come to this theater today to praise them on a big win.
I want to congratulate you on what was the most magnificent quarter I've ever seen. You learn more about people under stress than you do any other time. The answer is we will convert.
Last spring, his employees worked double shifts for 7 straight days to meet Chambers' impossible quarterly deadline, and he's here to tell them why he pushed them so hard.
We don't want to do what some companies like Boeing and others have done, which is you hire a lot of people and then you lay them off. You hire a lot of people and you lay them off. So I'd rather have a little bit of stress on each of us than you be worried about your job. And so let me just ask, are you okay with that strategy? Quick show of hands.
This cozy style and straight talk got John Chambers a big award last year. A business magazine named him the best boss in America.
The best boss in America? The best?
Well, I tend to view myself more as a coach.
You're not accepting the crown?
I'll accept the crown as far as being one of the best companies in America, and I think that's what a coach does, is he creates an environment and helps recruit the players and gets them to play together as a team to win.
And so far, Team Cisco has been a big winner. The company manufactures the hardware guts of the Internet, the routers and switchers that connect the worldwide systems. And right now, 80% of all Internet traffic travels through Cisco gear. Chambers got there first because he foresaw 7 years ago that the then primitive web would explode if businesses could only connect. And now he has another vision. Every home in America wired directly to the Internet. And he wants Cisco to do that, too. Tell the person sitting at home in their living room how their lives are going to be different 5, 10 years because of what you're doing.
Oh, it's going to change in every way. Your connection to your home will be one connection, and it will do your TV, it will do your phone, it will do your data communications. As we finally learn how to make this easy to use for all of us, you'll use the network much more than you ever dreamed.
In what ways? To do what?
Everything. If you can imagine, even at night, we play our piano over the Internet now. We bring it down over the network connection, take a wireless connection across the house, and the piano plays anything I want.
His wife of 28 years, Elaine, was his high school sweetheart. They have 2 children.
It will allow us to interface to our friends and families much more conveniently at a much lower cost. You will have 3 to 5 Internet devices on your body.
Oh, wait. Interface, first of all.
The way that you communicate with your family.
In other words, you won't have regular phone lines that you're using?
You will use perhaps a network connection that has both phone and video and data combined.
Now, what about your body?
Oh, you may have devices attached to your heart if you're having trouble with your heart that would let your doctor in the hospital know if you had a problem. You could actually have an ambulance.
Going to satellites, you mean? Letting them know how your heart's beating?
Yes, and if your heart's...
Chambers and his team are searching for that single connection to, say, wire every electronic appliance into the Internet. So on the commute from work, the car will talk to the house, turn on the lights, turn up the heat, start the CD player. Be home soon. Chambers says to reach really big goals, you need a team that pulls together. So even though Cisco is headquartered in wealthy Silicon Valley, step inside and you won't find plush suites and unlimited expense accounts. Chambers insists that all his executives work out of 12 by 12 offices, including the boss himself.
Hello, John Chambers.
No executive washrooms?
No.
You fly first class?
We all fly coach. If you want to pay for an upgrade yourself, that's your own decision.
Is there a company plane?
Absolutely not.
So when you look around at CEOs of companies who are flying around in their own planes and have their sumptuous offices, what do you think of them?
Multiple management styles work.
Oh, come on.
Well...
Come on. I know you think these guys who take that much money out of the company for their personal convenience have lost something. It is a reflection of values.
I think it's more a reflection of the company culture. In our culture, we're all equals. We give 40% of our stock options to individual contributors. And we will do that for as long as I'm president.
His employees believe in him. They trust him. And why not? 40% of the stock options he gives out each year go to them, regular staff, not management. 2,000 of Cisco's 17,000 employees are already millionaires.
Our average individual contributor, not manager, not VP, not president, has over $250,000 in stock appreciation.
In fact, isn't it like 600,000? That's what we've read.
We try not to focus too much on the financial rewards.
So the answer is yes?
The average employee, and I'm talking about individual contributor, has comfortably over $250,000.
So you're not going to confirm 600,000?
Probably not, no. You don't want people to be at a company for money reasons.
If the power broker sounds a lot like a politician, well, that's part of him too. But more frequently, he's a preacher who encourages confessions, especially once a month when every employee celebrating a birthday, from janitor to vice president, is invited to a breakfast where they can ask the boss questions, any question they want, including complaints that it's all going too fast.
Given there's a lot of things going on, will Cisco go through another major organizational change in the next 2 years?
How many people believe that change is required for a company to be successful?
And Chambers doesn't stop with balloons and banners. A self-described sweet tooth, he routinely travels the halls of Cisco, handing out not pay raises and promotions, but candy bars and ice cream.
Well, want some ice cream before you leave?
Sweet and tempting bribes.
All right, now part of the agreement is you have to tell me what we should do better as a company.
In-house childcare.
Exactly.
We're going to do that. I believe in getting very close to the employees.
I know, but the Boy Scout approach, the sort of candy striper.
I think nice people can win. I don't think you have to be mean to be a good leader.
And you're not worried about somebody ever saying, this is so silly, this thing with the candy and the ice cream.
There's always going to be a certain percentage of your population in the outside world that really questions what you're doing. It's hard to argue with our success, however.
Here before we go, or
and no one's arguing with John Chambers now. Business experts flock to him for his opinion. He's a regular on the financial news programs.
Jump right in. We'll go.
I'll just lead you off.
Easy to go one.
It's a long way from his choir boy childhood in a small town in the hills of West Virginia. Close to his parents, he still calls his father his best friend. Twice yearly, they fish the waters of the United States.
Oh, no, Johnny. Just eating size.
His parents, he says, gave him values and strength to overcome problems. His first hard lesson in life came in grade school as he began failing at the basics.
You were actually not able to read?
I had what people now call a learning disability, and probably what would be described as a mild form of dyslexia. And so about the second and third grade, I was having tremendous trouble in class.
You feel dumb?
Yes. And you don't understand why you can't keep up. And then the teacher, whether he realizes it, begins to treat you a little bit differently. And I think you could see it in their eyes. They had doubts about would I even be able to graduate from high school or go to college.
His parents intervened and hired a tutor. He did graduate from high school and college, even law school. By the time he collected his business degree, he could get any job he wanted. He started at IBM, then moved on to Wang Computers, where he watched helplessly as top management made mistake after mistake. And there he learned his second painful lesson in life.
I laid off 5,000 people in my last job. We let down our customers, we let down our employees, we let down our shareholders. I'll do anything to avoid that again.
You personally laid off 5,000 people?
Well, I talked to a number of them, and obviously not 5,000, but a number of individuals. And what happens that tears you up is when often the layoffs occur, we like to call it as downsizing, but it really is layoffs. It's during economic time when finding another job is very difficult. And so you look at people in the eye and you realize that you're wrecking their lives and their families.
How did you suffer?
Oh, it about killed me. My dad is my best friend in life, and it was really, really hard. Really hard. I couldn't have done it another year.
How often have you seen a CEO choke up with concern for the workers? Chambers remembers turning to his dad during that crisis.
And he was miserable. And he would call home and we would talk about it. He'd talk to his mother as well as to me, just explaining how difficult that was for him to do.
Did you go into a depression?
I don't get depressed. I deal with life the way it is. Did it get me down? Yes.
What was it for you when you were down? How were you different?
Oh, you don't sleep as well. You don't enjoy going to work. You think about the people and the effect you have on them.
In anguish, Chambers quit Wang. After 2 months without a job, he joined Cisco as the number 2 guy. That was in 1990, when his net worth was about $250,000. Less than a decade later, he's worth closer to $400 million. Sometimes the pace at work gets the better of him. After 3 intense days of staff and customer presentations, he loses his voice.
Hey, sir.
He had come down with laryngitis.
Oh, it's tough. My greatest joy in life is communicating, and I'm having fits communicating.
This was a big day for Chambers, his quarterly report to his top managers. He's determined to take the stage, even if he has to squeak by.
I want to share with you what we accomplished during Q3 and where we're going to go today. I feel like I'm going through puberty for the second time. And the first time was painful enough.
Chambers, the evangelist, preaching the gospel of internet conversion.
We're in the middle of a revolution. We're going to change everything in this industry.
So the houses of the future, almost every electronic device will have a network connection. So we're working with Sony.
And homes aren't all Chambers wants to change. He's also passionate about education. Cisco has put $20 million into American high schools in all 50 states. These kids at Thomas Edison Tech in Jamaica, Queens, New York have become computer whizzes. Trained by Cisco, they even run the computer systems for the school. And the best boss in America dropped by to say the changing future is their future, too.
If you could know one thing about him and his life, what would you like to know? Yeah.
I don't want to, get too personal, but how much money do you make?
Am I financially secure? Yes. But is almost every Cisco employee has been with us for more than a year financially secure? Yes. But to answer your question very directly, I've been very lucky in the financial reward.
So how much?
A couple million. Money is not a key motivator to me in life. You want to be secure, and I won't disagree with that. But the material things aren't near as important as the other things.
Do a lot of people think you're too good to be true?
I'm not sure I'm as good as you think I am, Diane. I really am passionate about what I believe in. And life isn't very complex. You treat people like you like to be treated yourself. I am so proud of you being here at Cisco. I enjoy being part of your team. And again, I'll be here at the front for anybody who didn't get the questions answered. Thanks very much.
Folks in Florida get a sneak peek at the power of Hurricane Floyd as a pier is ripped apart. A night of prayer turns to terror when a gunman opens fire in a Texas church. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Bermudez. Those stories at 11.
I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. On the road to Morocco, Chicago.
FedEx carries more express packages to more places than any other shipping company on the planet. Everywhere from Georgia to Barcelona. About the only thing we can't carry is a tune. FedEx. Be absolutely sure.
Why do people love squirrels but hate rats? They're both rodents, and yet the squirrel is tolerated, downright beloved. Why? Does that cute, fuzzy tail make that much of a difference? Absolutely. Introducing the all-new 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Nicely equipped at 17.7. Further proof that looks do matter.
Our program for tonight. I'm Diane Sawyer, wishing all of you a good night, and a good night to you, Sam. Starting something brand new.
It's an internet program, abcnews.com.
Every weekday.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wait a second. You can't overwork me now. But I'm looking forward to it. But, Diane, I'm going to be back. Charlie was going to have to take a night off once in a while, and we'll be back at our old stomping ground.
Together again. Don't forget Nightline after your local news.
I'm Sam Donaldson, and we'll see you next week for another edition of 2020 Wednesday.
Atlanta, Dallas, Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Next, a deadly night at a Texas church. A gunman opens fire. Hurricane Floyd is closer than ever, and the dog debate at Portland Parks heats up.
This is KATU, the power of 2000. Now, Channel 2 News.
Hurricane Floyd continues on a collision course for the Carolina coast. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Bermudez. John and Kathy have the night off. We will have more on that story in just a moment, but first a developing story out of Fort Worth, Texas, where 8 people are dead after a gunman goes on a shooting spree at a church filled with teenagers. Eyewitnesses say the man who shouted obscenities and mocked religion walked into the church and opened fire. He killed 3 adults and 3 teenagers before killing himself. The 8th person died at the hospital. Several others were wounded. A pipe bomb was also found at the scene. We will have more on that story coming up in just a few minutes. But now we are going to go live to Jim Sciutto. He joins us live from one of the places Floyd is supposed to hit, Wilmington, North Carolina, for the very latest on this hurricane. Jim, what can you tell us this evening?
The eye of Hurricane Floyd is about 70 miles south of Wilmington, but Wilmington is already feeling the full effects of the storm's strength. The winds are gusting up to 100 miles an hour along the coast of North Carolina. The rain is falling incessantly. It is rising amazingly quickly. We've seen it come up here about a foot in less than an hour. The waves are already lapping up on the road to my left, and this is all happening to make landfall. Torrential rains and heavy winds battered the Carolinas, signaling the approach of Hurricane Floyd. The storm flooded streets, knocked out power, and damaged buildings, but many feared the worst was yet to come.
I think this is going to be one of the worst storms we've ever had in my lifetime. You know, there's never been one predicted to be this bad.
Authorities fear flooding may be Floyd's biggest threat.
The surge of the water coming in ahead, we're talking about 10 to 13 feet possibly. That's bigger than we've had in the past.
Hurricane Floyd will find most coastal communities deserted. Virtually everything is closed. No gas, no restaurants, no rooms. Even residents from areas not evacuated fled inland, creating massive backups.
6 hours, and we've gone 9 miles.
The hurricane left its mark on Florida, but the state was spared the full brunt of the storm. Floridians were relieved.
I gotta tell you, we dodged a major bullet. We should just feel very fortunate.
Among the most fortunate were 8 members of a tugboat crew who were rescued by the aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy after their ship went down in 40-foot seas. Now the wait is on for Hurricane Floyd to make landfall. Forecasters expect the storm to hit shore in the vicinity of Wilmington sometime in the early morning hours. Jim Sciutto, ABC News, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Well, Katie Brown is tracking Hurricane Floyd's path. She joins us now with the very latest. And boy, Katie, we saw right there in that live shot some of the problems they were having out there.
All associated with Floyd. And Elizabeth, actually now it looks like Floyd will make landfall in about an hour from now. Excuse me, we got a couple buttons on this microphone. Right now it looks like Floyd will make landfall in about